looking at pricing, cannabis accounting services, and you can throw in CBD hemp for good measure. Um, we'll talk about that, and you can post questions in comments. Couple of general thoughts, just at a very high level. If you don't have a great niche, and I don't just mean any niche, and if you're not an expert, what I call a VIP, valuable expert, instructor, and participant in that niche, you're automatically going to price lower than somebody who is. So if I decide I'm going to be a dental accountant or whatever, and I go up against people that have been doing dental accounting for 10 years or whatever, and I go reach out to dentists who are super hard to find anyway, I'm probably going to struggle a little bit. So step one to higher pricing is to become an expert in the niche. Secondly, I talk about this a lot too. You can't sell a Mercedes if you don't have one. So if if I'm trying to sell a used Ford that's say 2008, it's got 100,000 miles on it, and I trick somebody into buying that for 100,000, that's not going to be a good business model. I might trick somebody into that, someone who's really stupid, but that's not going to serve me in the long run. So I call this, I don't want to catch a whale in a rowboat. So the people in the Dope CFO VIP program, they have a massive ship to go out and catch that whale. That's step one. Because if I can't deliver a Lamborghini to my client or whatever, I sure as heck better not talk them into paying me 15 or 20 grand a month or more, maybe equity as well, if I don't have that. So what do the people in Dope CFO VIP program have? They've got, first of all, massive education around everything cannabis. We have them go through that in 90 days. So they learn, the medicine, the science, the plants, the brands, the strains, the capital markets, the software, the politics, all those things that aren't even anything about accounting and tax, but they're everything that's important to business owners. Then we layer in accounting, then cost accounting, then the accounting for all the different verticals, then federal tax returns, then 471, 280, et cetera, then court cases and knowledge. So those people have really deep, deep knowledge, not just when they're going out there to pitch client one, they continue to grow and build that because they're in our private community. Who's in that private community? Almost 500 of us, every single state, CPAs, attorneys, enrolled agents, bookkeepers, CFOs, you name it. We share knowledge literally 24/7. And there is no network or firm or anybody in the US that has anywhere near those kind of numbers of people and skill sets. So we are the national leader. It's one of the reasons I'm helping plan the AICPA conference right now. And so that's a good base right there to have that knowledge and education and have it just be growing daily as we are doing cutting edge knowledge share in there. We've also got all the tools and work papers and systems that I built over 10 years. They've all got access to those as well. Again, you can't Google those. You can't buy them on the internet. There is no other place I know to get those. They've also got our marketing system, how we actually, since we do have that ship, how do we go out and find these clients? How do we message them? What do we ask them on a call? How do we do an offer? What's our price quoting tool look like, etc., including our close strategy. So we're in place. We got those pieces of the puzzle put together. Anyone in the program to now go out there and approach a client and actually make that offer. Now, what do we offer? Dispensary owner, farmer, anywhere. What do we? And you can type in your ideas. I'll tell you what we offer. When I tell the client says, what am I going to get if I hire you? You're going to get everything. We're going to outsource your accounting and tax department from start to finish. If you need something, we're going to do it. And so that's it. That's a simple way. We'll do everything. Well, is bank recs included? AR, payroll, whatever? Yep, we do it. CFO, tax planning, tax returns? Yes, we do it. What if I need an audit in year 2? Great. We can source that out via our group. We have people that do audits. We have people that do valuations. We've got people that are SALT experts. Whatever they need, we can bring it. So again, just having that ability to say we're the best and we can bring it. What this reminds me of the closest is when I worked at Price Waterhouse in 99 or 8. Even though I was young and dumb and new into accounting, it was cool to be part of that culture. Yeah, we're the best. We're the biggest. We can do anything you possibly need. We can do it. But oh, by the way, we're going to charge you an arm and a leg because we are the best and we know how to do things correctly. So before we even talk about how on earth do we price these services, we got to get those pieces of the puzzle in place if we want to follow my business model for my students, which is I would like to see people build a 7-figure firm with less than 3 clients. That's pretty manageable. There's 150,000 companies in the U.S. right now in cannabis CBD. That number will be 500,000 probably in the next 2 to 3 years. Many of those are startups. Many of those are funded with 5 to 10 million on day one. You can have a small mom and pop that could be, 3 dispensaries and a couple of farms. It could be a $30 million company. So that's very, very good. That means there's a lot of companies. They're underserved. They're big, big dollars. They should be paying high fees. But the nice thing for us is over a 3 to 5 year period, we don't need to collect 10 or 15 or 20 clients. We can just pick up a handful or one or two. A single client can be multi-million over 5 or 10 years, especially if you price in some equity, which many people in our program do, because at the startup mode, we also, by the way, part of our ship is we can help any cannabis or CBD hemp company with startup services, pitch decks, financial models, cap tables, lawyer introductions, investor introductions. We can help them with whatever they need, help on the investor calls, etc. We are able to build out controls and corporate governance. That's in our program as well. So being able to offer those things means right out the outset, we're able to put out this big offer. So if I go down and buy a $3 fishing pole and paddle out my rowboat off the coast here of Oregon and I throw that in, it doesn't matter if I catch a whale, it's not going to work out. It's not going to end well. So again, that is step one. And then once I got that step one and I go to actually talk to the client, we're going to simply ask questions. Tell me about your company, where you're located, how many dispensaries, what verticals you're in, how many employees, what are forward revenues looking like, how many investors you have. Super simple questions. We're going to take that, plug it into our price quoting tool. It's going to spit out a range, and that range could be broad. It could be, I think this client should be 8 to 12 grand a month. And so if this is client one for somebody in the program, they may even price it lower than 8 grand a month because they just want to get that first client. I do tell people in my program, client one, anything goes, because outside of the dollars they're going to gain with client one, they're going to meet people in the industry, they're going to get practice using our tools and work papers, they're going to learn, they can get testimonial, they can get referrals to, if you got a farm, they can refer you to their dispensary owners, etc. And so, hey Miller, PW, yeah, I was back in Cougars and Libran and I went through the merger and before I went out to industry. So anyway, that's the way we will start with our call. We'll follow it up with our offer letter. Our offer is tied to our value chain. It's my contention after 30 years in the industry and over the last 30 years, what have I done? I have founded and led many companies over the last 30 years, from small to big. I have been CFO of companies up to in the $100 million range, including co-founding and exiting a $100 million company. I have been a CPA at Big Four. I've won awards. I've done a lot of things. I've run and built a big nonprofit with my wife over a 15-year period. So I've done a lot of different stuff. And at this point, when I think of what do owners want from us, they all want the same thing. And they'll agree on the four, but I'll tell you the number one last. The 4 things they want: world-class reporting, improved cash flow, lower taxes, and peace of mind, period. I don't care if it's a coffee shop owner or Bill Gates or the founder of Nike, they all want the same thing. But how do we get those things? Step one is rock solid world-class accounting. I would contend that companies in the $1 to $20 million sales range in the US in any niche, generally speaking, don't have anywhere near that. And so they're struggling with reporting and cash flow and correctly minimize taxes and peace of mind because they don't get it. They were so busy building revenue and brand and growth that they forgot that, oh, wait a minute, accounting and tax is actually valuable as you get to that stage. And so that's what we sell them, that value. We explain to them exactly why each one of those things is important. and particularly in cannabis, you're going to have lenders, investors, board of directors, management team. You got to be able to run your company first and foremost. You got to have access to capital. We build a perpetual data room and a permanent audit trail for every single client every month, and we show them in our value chain document what they want, why they should want it, and how we deliver it, via solutions. So you don't see a bunch of things like, oh, we do bank recs and AR and AP, etc. That's a feature, not a benefit. We translate things immediately into benefits. So what's a permanent audit trail and why is that value to them? We explain that to them as well. So that's the way we do our offer and our prices. If someone in our program does a has their website or their LinkedIn or whatever, I want it to be super simple. I don't want to go to the website and say, hey, I'm Sally or Joe bookkeeper and I do bank recs and AR and payroll and da 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 da. I'd rather see someone go to one of our sites, see a big beautiful cannabis leaf and says, hey, even if you're one person, this is green stem accounting group. We do cannabis and accounting correctly. We will help you correctly minimize 2AD. Something super simple and delivers immediately that value that they know, oh, wow, this website is totally devoted to cannabis. They seem to know what's going on, etc. as well. Stillwater accounting service, awesome information. So, well, thank you for that. But again, everything I teach and we do, it's fairly simple at the end of the day. You know what? There's 3 million accountants in the US. There's more than enough work for every last one, whether you're in the big four or you are solo bookkeeper or whatever. It just started yesterday. There's more than enough work in the US. I just got off an Accounting Today webinar yesterday. Again, still 84%. What are the issues of firms? Staffing. There's not enough staff to deliver the amount of work they have. The good news for us as solo accountants, they're so busy and they have such a staffing crisis that literally will not be solved for a decade or more until we get more people coming into the industry. While they're dealing with their staffing issues, that's opportunity for us. What does that mean? That means, first off, they're not responsive to their clients. That's super low hanging fruit. Again, if I'm going to price and deliver a Lamborghini, or you think of, if I'm going to stay at the Four Seasons, what is that product? They are going to wait on me hand and foot. I looked at a Four Seasons ski area the other day. It's like, yeah, they'll carry my skis to the lift for me. So that's what we're going to do, that white glove service, which includes responsiveness. Most accountants at big firms are not responsive. There's plenty in our dope CFO that aren't responsive. So what I say is, it's hard to be the best, but it's not hard to be great. What does it take to be in that top 10% of accountants out there? It's not really that hard. Well, I've got to, the end of the day, forget marketing and pricing and finding clients. I need to just know for certain when I have a client, I am going to deliver a world-class product, meaning I've got to have the knowledge, skills, tools, systems, work papers, and then I'm going to deliver that with world-class service. Meaning, first and foremost, my organization is going to be meticulous, my practice management is going to be amazing, and I'm going to be responsive. Those three things are super important. And so someone can buy my program and not be great at that, they're not going to do a great job. And so that will be the number one thing. So if this relates to any service, lawyers, doctors, plumbers, accountants, marketers, if you can deliver an amazing product with world-class service, you're going to be in the top 10%. You are going to be an A+ student. And what do we know when we go to high school and college? Most people are not A students. And that's why the A student succeeds. So let's be that A accountant. It's my job security forever, because 50 years from now or 100 years from now, it's going to be the same. My favorite quote, Daniel Webster, there's always room at the top, and there always will be, because most people won't do what it takes to be at the top. The dope CFO people in the VIP, they've got everything to be at the top. They've still got to deliver great service. If you do that so if you're just starting your practice today and you're looking at over 20 years, if you can do that, get the knowledge, the VIP education, the tools, the systems, and deliver it with world-class service to your clients as you get them, that's it. You're done. That's your key. You will be successful. That's all you got to do. You got to be up there in that top range. Marketing will take care of itself. Yes, we have to find clients at first and price them, but if we do the things in our Dope CFO program, by year 2 or 3, I contend, and I've seen this over and over and over again with our students, guess what happens in year 2 or 3? I don't hear from them anymore. They are busy as crap and succeeding left and right. So we know it works, and it worked 100 years ago. It will work 100 years from now. That's the base layer. I see so many programs and Facebook groups. I'm in a lot of them, bookkeeping groups, accounting groups, etc. And all they talk about is how marketing and you need a funnel and how you're gonna charge your clients and you're gonna do this, that, and the other. And it's all about marketing and sales, and no one talks about what happens when you get that client. If you go get a client at 10 grand a month and just do crappy work, um, that's a great strategy for a long-term failure. So to me, pricing is a little bit irrelevant. If you sell Lamborghini, of course you're going to get a high price, and of course you're going to be successful. But if you don't sell that, you're not. So that is kind of where I'll leave it on pricing. We talk about this all day long in our program, and again, like everything we do, it's fairly simple. You'll find anything in life, whether it's getting rich or losing weight or whatever. Usually, it's fairly simple. But can you follow the steps? Simple doesn't mean easy. So that's kind of where I will leave it. Anyway, thanks for joining us, and I will see you all next week as well.